Oh no! We're gonna
Kevin,
die. No, I'm kidding. We're not
We're
dying
gonna
yet.
die.
We're not dying
Tis
yet.
I.
Tis
I
I,
don't-
the memester.
I'm chilling out, maxing, hanging on the Twitch, and I don't see our faces doing nothing.
I see
Oh.
my face.
Yeah, we're.
Oh,
here.
you do? Cool. Then I'm just stupid.
I
Anyway.
see the base.
The base and the face. So who wants to do our recap? Who wants to tell us what happened last time on
Not
Leon's
me.
lessons in narratology?
I have notes, so I can do
I
it.
can go.
I think Sam wants to go. He did the initiative.
Okay.
I'm not as in depth in my recaps as others, but I get the general idea. So the general idea was we fell out of the sky from the whale and we found ourselves in the forest of death. Well, luckily, we had a time to just do a short rest to make sure we didn't, die in the forest of death, as the name suggests. So while we were resting, we found a caravan of kobolds. We were luckily able to buy 3 health potions from the kobolds. I used mine up for the kid, so the kid doesn't die, because, this is a escort mission. It's the
And
main
what was
point.
that kid's name?
Their name was
Inconsequential.
yeah, Kid.
His name was Kid.
Kid, yeah.
Kid Normalman.
Yeah, and he was a very not normal kid, but
No,
we met this seemingly kindly hermit in the woods who was not suspicious at all, and
certainly not a dick.
Yeah, certainly not. We slowly sussed out that he was Chad. Adventure. Yeah,
Chad.
and
Soul.
yeah, and we slowly sussed out that their marriage sort of dissolved due to disagreements in.
Chad was Norm Normalman's husband.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what we learned.
Norm Normilton is the person who gave us this quest in the general store. So we took directions from Chad and went up the mountain where we found a Fey lady or lord, depending on which angle you view them from.
Or bored.
They tried to tempt us. It was very easy. We just said, no, go away, Faye. And they're like, my weakness. And disappeared.
Hey, what weakness? Free will. No.
Yes. So we continued up the mountain and went through the wrong door because, actually, we went through the right door because we had the wagon and Zerlock.
Don't forget your. Don't forget that. What happened to Chad?
Alimony?
You revealed to Kid that Chad was his father.
Oh, yes. We revealed to Kid that Chad was his father, and then the kid became disillusioned with his heroes, like most people are when they meet them, and decided to be better than his hero, which is a good way to go instead of the opposite way. And then we met the dragon by going through the perfectly correct caravan entrance because Zerlock was our caravan. We all loaded up on her because she big strong.
She very big strong.
Yeah. And we small, tiny.
We not big strong.
Not big strong.
Not in the slightest.
And we met the dragon Balthazar, gold dragon. He gave us this mysterious potion, because he was a very aristocratic, the sort of person who would say the pores, tried to talk.
He was a dick.
An asshole.
Yeah.
A lot of assholes. A lot of assholes.
Yeah, it seems to be that way. Either we attract them or it just, happen to be
It's
this.
definitely like an attraction thing.
Yeah.
I've attracted many assholes and not no.
Dun. So Balthazar, after learning that we were the pores, swiftly kicked us out, and we successfully made it back to town. Surprisingly, but we did get ambushed by kobolds seeking revenge for the people we definitely didn't murder the first session. Definitely.
Wasn't us. Doesn't sound like
It was a group of assholes, and Liam did not have to roll deception.
You didn't see anything.
I'm not very sneaky.
Luckily, R came by and released us from our bounds, and we murked them. And Kid did a lot of damage, but did
Right.
get like a nat 20 or 2.
He got 2 in a row, actually. No, he got nat 20. I think he might have gotten 2 in a row. The point is, Kid in mechanics of the game was supposed to suck, and then through his strength of character and entirely out of my control, actually became the protagonist. And I was like, well, shit.
And
It's
we're
true.
very proud of him.
We are.
Actually, I could give a shit. Actually,
Oh.
but emotionally, sure, there's something there. I guess
You're just not
Liam's
ready
dead
to
inside.
have that responsibility in your life.
that's true. That's true. If
And
I
then
ever did have
you
a kid,
load
I'd
it on a
just leave
carriage
him on the side of the
and-
road.
Yeah, Art won a lot of stuff for evening the playing field.
Against the casino. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. And now we have a carriage, so we don't have to use our feetsies anymore.
Yeah. And in
Yay.
fact, that leads us to what's happening in the classroom. We see Leon again drawing on his chalkboard with his tail.
Why are you writing a lowercase t on the board?
Ah, no, we're going to start talking about metaphors today.
A figure of speech in which a word or a phrase is applied to an object or an action to which it literally is not applicable, which doesn't use like or as because obviously, dumbass, that's a simile. Duh. Boom. Now, can we please just go home?
Did you just read that from the dictionary?
Am I wrong?
Oh, well, no. But today we'll be discussing Christ-like characters.
Oh, demons, right? Jeebus Christ, Lord of Hell?
No. I want you to imagine for the rest of this class the exact opposite of that Christ. Think of a good guy, a really good guy, who doesn't want to kill everyone. And speaking of killing, our heroes crested the final hill, and the warmth washed over them as they saw Santus Civatis, the supposed end of their quest. But of course, it was merely their own debate section. All right, so you guys are journeying on this carriage that R has won for you, kind of clickety-clacking away on the ground. And you have gathered and gotten to Sanctus Civatis, the big the big religious city at the edge of the continent. Zerlock, if you wish to show us the fancy image of our map of what Sanctus Civatis looks like.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. So yeah, this is Sanctus Civatis. You know that you need to get to the Grand Chapel at the very edge of the city. But as you approach the guardsmith, because you are coming from Green Lodge, not the path to Kyoden Yusulmad, you immediately are let in as R kind of reaches up as he's sitting on the coachman's chair, waves at the guards. The guards know who he is. He's one of like 18 people that are very, very important. And he is and they are immediately let in, or you are immediately let into the city itself. Sanctus Civatis is a bustling, excited town, especially since the calling, which usually happens every 10 years, is actually happening having 6.5 years.
Whoa!
6 years, 5.5 years early. 5.5 years early. It's a big deal right now. So it's bustling. People are moving around. Is there anything you'd like to do or see while you're in this city? It is the major religious center of the world. You can also say fuck it and just move along, just chilling in the cart. R doesn't seem to be stopping for anyone, and he doesn't seem to really be caring about what's happening.
It's probably for the best.
Could I just ask a quick question, Art?
He turns to you and says, sure, kid. What do you need?
Well, this only happens every so often, and you said this is happening early?
Yeah, it's called the calling. All of us get together. All the major religious people. Calling myself a religious person seems incorrect, but it's the same thing. representatives of the holy powers, I guess. Come every 10 years to sort out stuff, talk about things, make sure that everything's not going straight to hell, and then we vibe.
And any idea why it's happening so early?
Not a clue. Someone just sent the ceremonial smoke signals, and then the actual real letters, because no one actually cares about the smoke signals. It's a thing for like posterity, and we've been doing it for years. You know how it is.
Yeah, but you live too far away to see the smoke signals.
Yeah, I mean, none of us live in Sanctus Civatis. Well, that's not true. Some of us live around here, but I don't. I don't find it necessary.
Any part of the city we should stay away from, or people?
Nah, it's the major holy city. It doesn't have a real like dark underbelly. You know what I mean? It's a big deal, but like, what's up?
I don't believe you even a little bit. Every place has secrets.
Every place is secrets, boyo, and there's plenty of those, but there's not many people around to mug you in the back, which is what y'all really need to worry about.
There's
Though,
an idea.
dealing with them kobolds, maybe you don't need to be busting people in the face, or I need to be worried about you getting busted in the face. You seem to be doing pretty good. Not dead. We made it here.
That's true. If we're the muggers, though, if there's not a lot of mugging, we could start the criminal enterprise, make a quick buck.
There's not a lot of mugging because there's a lot of gods, especially right now. The calling being early, people are very excited.
That's not
Because
fun.
all the clerics
So
bring.
worried.
Well, I mean, I'm not worried because I don't really care. Some of the clerics might be worried, but the people of the town, like this is their like Woodstock or whatever. This happens every 10 years. They get a major burst of tourism from all the clerics bringing all their entourages. Like, yeah, it's a pretty nice place.
Wait, since it's so full, will we find an inn, or will we have to sleep in the streets?
Well, y'all are gonna be with me. You're my entourage.
And where are you staying?
I'm staying at the Grand Chapel. I am the arbiter.
That's pretty
They
cool.
literally can't start without me.
When you say that all of them will be here, all religions, all of them, all of them.
All the heads of any major religions, as
Right.
represented by, I mean, everyone from the pantheon's got one.
Yes, right. All right, sounds good. Maybe I should stay in the cart then. I'm gonna.
No,
find
you
something.
gotta come in.
Oh, that's unfortunate. All right.
I mean, I guess you don't have to come in, but like once we start the calling, it's locked until it's over. And that the last calling took like a week. So like,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, I don't know. Also, I didn't know you knew any undercommon.
I studied it back at the monastery, just a wee tiny bit. Not enough to
I
speak it.
understand that. Yeah. For those of you who aren't from our universe, or don't know this strange bit of fact, Drow who speak Undercommon because they live in the Underdark are Australian because they come from down under. So
Welcome to the land down under.
where Drow try to eat and plunder. Anyway, so yeah, this is the where you find yourself in Sanctus Civatis. I don't know how much gold we have left. You'll probably be you didn't need to spend any more on supplies, because our just basically he almost owns the town of Fairhaven now.
That's good.
But I mean, they were like being nice to Balthazar, which was not a great plan. So
I mean,
but
for a place called Fairhaven, he had to come in and make sure it was fair, right?
That's true. Really, if
That's
he's gonna
true.
own any place, it's gonna be a place called Fairhaven.
this is an accurate statement. So yeah, is there anything you guys want to do before we head on to the Grand Chapel? I can, if you need a type of thing to buy, I can make that exist, but if you're looking for something specific, I can help you out. But it's a major city. We've all played games before. there's places to buy things in major cities.
I want a pair of nice shoes.
There is a cobbler, of course.
Naturally.
Yeah. It's just such a shame. He didn't have a soul.
Is there art galleries?
Yeah. Yeah, but mainly it's very religious art, and it's centered in the Grand Chapel.
Okay.
Because it's the Grand Chapel, in case you haven't gotten it, is basically the Vatican.
Yeah. No, fair.
Yeah.
So Zerlock is most likely interested in a very anxious sort of way, because there are a lot of people. He's probably both staring at everyone, because there's probably a bunch of people she hasn't seen, like, race types before, but also is definitely trying to hide in the cart.
And why is Zerlock interested in people of different races?
God, what was it? Sorry,
So
I
she
forgot
can
my
feel
own
her
backstory.
dreams.
Different flavors of dreams.
No,
No.
it's actually because she's studying forms
Yeah.
to be a better artist.
Yeah, and she thinks that, like, not only body types, but also just, like, racial traits, because there's horns and four-legged versus one-legged versus two-legged, and all of that stuff is, like, really important to her.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're gonna just wait until you camp in Sanctus Civatis. Do you actually want to go to the cobbler, Liam, or was that just kind of a throwaway?
That was a joke.
Okay, fair
Well,
enough.
a
Yeah,
cobbler
there's
just repairs shoes. A cordwainer makes shoes.
forgive me. My cobbler is funnier because I make a Shakespeare joke.
More like a gobbler, am I right? Because he's just gobbling all those repairs up.
There's only one in the whole town. No.
Would you say he's the soul cobbler?
Hey.
Oh, it came back. He got it.
Hey.
He got it. Sam, is there any or Cauldron? Is there anything you want to do? Any?
So, Cauldron would love to see a library. It's probably going to be like a religious library because in the floating islands, the only thing to do is to be in the woods or read the archives of the tree. So
I have news for you. There is a kind of a public Sanctus Civatis library. However, there is a much better, bigger, badder library in, of course, the Grand Chapel.
Then, of course, you got to get that exclusive access.
Exclusive access, indeed. All right, so we're just gonna kind of run to the Grand Chapel then, huh? All right. You make it to the Grand Chapel. Like I said, everyone knows who R is. No one's stopping him. There's a few people in the street that actually see that R is coming. There's a young woman and her child, and she sees that R is coming, and she's like, oh, and she picks up her kid and she runs over to her husband.
You owe me this much alimony, asshole.
No. His wife is in dank. But she runs over to her husband who's running the tavern, and he throws up a sign that says post calling. No, I'm sorry. It's not a sign that says post calling. It says, need a place to stay during the calling? Come to the name of the tavern, which is the Dancing Unicorn. So there's a lot of unicorns. It's a chain. There's a chain of unicorn bars and taverns. But yeah, so the whole place upon seeing R is slowly getting ready for okay, the calling's gonna happen. They're gonna hunker down. So we need to get ready for all of where their entourage is gonna stay, what's going on, all that fun stuff. You make it to the gates of the Grand Chapel, and you see no guards. Strangely enough, and R jumps off of the carriage and looks at Tiffany, the woman who is indentured to him, and says, all right, Tiffany, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to the unicorn, whichever one. You're going to say you're with me. They're going to try to give you a room. If they don't have one, go to the next one. Repeat that process until you find a place to sleep. If you don't find a place to sleep, I highly recommend the carriage. It's very comfy. And she kind of, what are the odds that I find a room? Gonna be honest, I'm not the guy for that. I'm gonna say 50-50. I'm gonna say it's pretty fair. There's a room somewhere.
Whether it's in the town, nobody knows.
Yeah, you might have to go back to Green Lodge.
The odds are
But yeah.
50-50. Either you find a room or you don't.
My friend Finsta here, who I never thought I'd say my friend, did in fact just nail it on the head. And she kind of deflates noticeably and says, and if I just kind of leave? Well, then you are in fact breaking a contract with the one cleric of the god of fairness. So that's not gonna go well.
I thought you weren't requiring him to...
Shut up, Zerlock.
Wait a moment. I just did the math, and the likelihood is not 50-50. You see, you have to...
I'm done. No, Wizard Man. Hey, Wizard Man. I'm gonna hear a lot of people talk a lot of garbage for the next couple days. I do not need you to also give me a lecture. Now,
Cauldron is trying so hard not to correct him, but understands
Right,
that.
Sounds like you've got yourself a secret there, son. So instead of me blabbing around about it all over the place, maybe you can give us another secret so that I have a reason to keep both of them, in fact.
are you looking at me? Are you looking at the boy?
I'm looking. Why would I look at Cauldron? Well, Cauldron, we also have a secret, but he's going to blab that eventually, one of these moments. So.
Oh, I didn't know you two were intimate. My mistake.
No. His secret is that your math is terrible.
Anyway.
You gotta pay attention there, son.
Okay, well, I'll tell you one.
Sure.
Pretty easy secret.
Oh, there we
He
go.
leans you in close, and he does this kind of thing with his hand.
He's
where
not going to tell
beckoning
me a
you in.
secret, but all right, let's hear.
He leans in and he goes, I know the name of the cleric of Tylaya. And he leans back.
Oh, he knows this. Ah, gotcha. I'll keep.
Now, here's the thing. It is a secret that I do know that thing.
Yes, and it's also a secret. The name of the thing that you know.
And you're not gonna. And guess what? You're fucking not gonna get though.
It's a double secrets there. Oh, it's
like a double lock. Anyway,
I can't
let's get a move on.
Scream that into the wind tomorrow morning.
That's fair. And he walks on in. Kind of. He's R seems to be much more swaggery. He seems to have warmed up to all of you because you did a nice thing and you're not actively the worst. You saved that kid. Like you were demonstrated your skill in combat. He's not. He doesn't feel as like, oh, I'm going to immediately die.
We love that.
We
Yes.
tricked him successfully.
So he opens the door, just shoves it open, and there is this huge crowd of people inside. There's hundreds of tables, chairs, people sitting around. It is incredibly lavish. There are tapestries depicting ancient god lore. There are just a smattering of every single kind of race you can imagine, Sherlock. Things you didn't even know could speak are walking around and discussing like deep theological debates over what like which god is best is a big one, but also like how do the pairings work of Bilanxia? What are they about? You see a lot of interesting stuff. If you guys want to peek into more interesting or like find a specific thing, looking at you, my friend Finster. If you want to find a specific thing, you're gonna have to roll for it. There's a whole lot of people. There is a moment as soon as Ark kicks open the door that he says, all right, motherfuckers, let's get this party started. And everyone turns to him and they all like very solemnly, a lot of them nod understandably. You do hear at least two people go, is this a party? Oh, I missed my invitation. I'd like to shred it. Ho-ho! And they two people just start laughing.
The god of bad jokes. I know them well.
Someone I'm getting an echo from. I can hear it in the OBS. So
I don't hear what you're hearing.
I can hear it through the. Maybe you're not hearing it in the thing, but I'd like everyone for just like a brief second while I am talking. I'm gonna get a little bit louder so you can see if you have any levels or anything is peaking, even though you are not saying anything. Okay. If you're good, we're gonna just move on. I just don't want another episode tube debacle. Episode 2. So yeah, you a bunch of people start nodding. They kind of filtering around. Is there anyone or anything that you would want to notice or deal with before you accompany R to the calling? He's kind of looking around too, trying to see like who is here for what organization, who's representing. It's usually the same. It's usually the same people. He just said, but you know.
Zerlok would like to see if there's anybody that looks particularly like they don't want to be there and look angry about it.
Boy, yeah, yes, 100%. Not 100%. I guess there's probably like the two people who were heckling R, seem to be not having a good time. But like are drunk, maybe. But if you want to like really look at them and know what they are about, they are I should probably tell you what they look like. That they are I think it is a drow and a drow and a dwarf.
Those bastards. I will look around and see if anyone's looking like they're having a conversation. They don't want people to eavesdrop in.
Okay.
And,
roll perception.
That's a thing I will do. Eat.
Or no, I guess you're doing investigation because you're looking for a specific thing, right?
All right. Yes, that's true. Let's see if I somehow get worse. Yes. Why did it roll again? Oh, right. 19.
19. That's pretty great. You see over in the corner, with a 19, you see your friend R, you see a young woman in the corner sitting next to an LLiN elf. And what you see is that you're listening for secrets, but they don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
However, you see them touch hands, and the LLiN elf, who is in this a golden but simple dress, she is also surrounded by several small green glowing pixies. Pixies do not usually glow, and they are not usually green. Kind of blush a little bit, and then the two of them separate and then find their way into the main hall that everyone seems to be funneling toward.
A secret affair. Unacceptable. We shall burn them at the stake for dinner.
For dinner?
I'm very hungry.
Hungry enough that you turn to cannibalism?
Well, you know, when you're up in the monk areas, food can be a little hard to come by.
Is that deception or is that a legitimate insanity?
Well, what do you think, man?
I think that's deception. I think cannibalism was not something you had to resort to, but something that was offered.
Not everyone engaged in it, but it was I'm not going to deride my best friend was a cannibal. His name was Jeff. It was great. We were best friends. And then we weren't, but that's an entirely separate story.
You know what?
Right.
I can't really fault anybody considering that my parentage drinks blood, and not always in the way that leaves people alive.
That's true. Plus, you steal our dreams, which is arguably worse than eating a person.
At least you're alive.
R stops and goes, Finsta, one of these days, we've really got to get you to talk to somebody. Like anybody with any kind of psychiatric degree.
Oh, is he still with us? Because then I'm going to ask him pointedly, who are those? I'm going to see if I can't see them in the crowd and point to the two that were...
It is not hard to point to them. They are in the front.
Which one are those?
That is... The dark-haired regular woman with the bat wings is Vera, and the golden-dressed woman is Amantha something. Samantha Fall, Winter. Ugh. You guys know that. Actually, Cauldron, you would have no way of knowing this. Zerlock, roll a nature check. Finster, I guess you might have a chance. Roll a nature check. Oh shit! No, you too, Cauldron. I keep forgetting that you like lived in a magical library.
I got a 4.
Okay. You don't know shit.
Religion check, actually.
No, it's a nature check. I'll explain why in a second.
All right, that works.
Oh, apparently my magical library had a book on this.
Yes, it had a book on the differentiations. It had a book on the differentiation. Oh, 17. So Finster, Cauldron, you both know this. Zerlock, you must have tuned out while you were getting taught this. That there are 4 seasons of Eladrin elves, and this is clearly a summer elf. So R is struggling to be like, it's the winter.
It's the fall one, I bet. I'm gonna assume it's the fall.
Maybe a summer elf.
Yeah, but
I mean, there's a book in the
Summerwings.
rucksack.
No, you got a point. No, yeah, Summerwings. Yeah. That's Amantha Summerwings. Usually it's a different guy who's the head. So I don't know why she's here, but
The secret intensifies. Oh, I'm visibly bursting with excitement.
why are you asking about those two? They fucking hate each other.
They don't. But maybe
That's
they do.
impossible. Amantha is the goddess of contentment's main cleric, and Vera is cleric of Killian McCullum.
Who the fuck is? This is too much religion.
The god of ambition. They hate the Shadowfell and the Feywild. They hate each other.
Right. Interesting. Oh, I'm visibly bursting with. Oh, I'm so got. Oh, this is good. I'm gonna go home happy tonight.
All right.
Then a lot of people are about to hear our secrets tomorrow morning. It's gonna be great.
That's a really strong. Hey, I'm just letting you know this. Because I don't hate you.
That's true.
If you screw with Vera,
Yes.
you will die.
That sounds about right.
Amantha's probably nicer.
Sure.
Vera is not.
That's okay. You know,
Vera is a vampire, and unlike your friend here, she doesn't eat dreams. You see, we don't really want to have a cattle room for people. We had to.
that's entirely fair. But believe me, secrets are no fun unless you share them with everyone. That's the creed. I have that stitched on my ass.
There's also a different saying.
I don't know what that
two
one
can
is.
two can keep a secret if one of them is dead, and I think Vera has a plan for that. But regardless, it seems like everyone's filtered into the room. So here's what's gonna go down. We're gonna walk in.
Aye.
I'm gonna start saying crap.
Aye.
We're gonna see who called this thing, and
Aye.
then maybe everything explodes. I don't know. Let's rock and roll. And he cracks his knuckles. And you guys,
Cauldron, what's up?
Sorry, just want to interject a little bit. Cauldron, when he enters the room, being very anxious, paranoid that something's going to come and kill him, being in the wild, would like to check the room for people who would potentially be threatening.
That's fair. And while he does that, I'm gonna be looking for clerics of my own clericalness, so I can avoid them like the plague.
That's
they're
fair.
heretics.
Both of you roll perception.
Bloody heretics! They don't even fucking talk. What's the point of living?
Yeah.
12?
15 and 12. Okay. Boy, Sam, let me describe this room to you, and I will then go into what is. So the door opens, and it's this large chamber, and there's two semicircles of raised platforms, and there's 4 chairs on each platform, except for one, the highest level on the right. There are actually 3 chairs and a love seat. On that love seat are the 2 hecklers who you saw earlier. So who would be threatening in this room? What does Cauldron? The problem is Cauldron finds everything threatening.
Okay, fair.
So let me.
You just get this emanation of anxiety from literally everywhere.
Yeah, there
probably,
is.
I can give you a tier list of what Cauldron would probably find the most threatening.
I will read you just some things.
Cool.
There is a monk in black robes. This is also answering Cauldron's question. A monk in black robes, a halfling with his mouth stitched shut. Who seems about I would say about 30 years older than Finster, and twice as threatening. So that's creepy. There is also a basilisk wearing white robes. 4 of its legs are on the ground, and then it's got 2 sleeves, and each sleeve has 2 hands sticking out of it. For those of you who don't know what a basilisk is, it's usually a monstrosity in the Underdark. That it's kind of scaly. It's got, as I've said, 5 legs or 8 legs, a long tail, and it if you look at it, it turns you to stone. This basilisk, as is that nature, has really thick sunglasses on.
I was just about to ask if it was wearing sunglasses.
Oh yeah. There is also a skeleton draped in shimmering purple robes with a golden hand.
Ooh.
There is obviously Vera, who is terrifying. And those are... What did you get? You got a 15? I don't think you know how threatening this person is with a 15. I think you would just blip them off. Oh, there's also a Yan T. I forgot to mention, who is mostly human looking, but she has very bright yellow eyes and is wearing bright blue robes. There are, of course, just as many other weird and interesting characters. So R looks at all of you and says, "All right, so y'all are gonna wait right here. Do not enter the circle. As you can see," and he points around, the other entourages have kind of split off, and now in this center chamber there are only like the green glowing pixies. There's 2 particularly nasty looking satyrs. These are the bodyguards of the clerics. They don't seem to be on edge in any way. Like, several of them are leaning on their weapons. Their shields are off, but they are still in the room. And so y'all are instructed as basically his bodyguards to stay outside. And he's like, "I'm gonna do this thing, and then we're gonna do it for like 4 hours, and then we're gonna call it a day, and then we're gonna do it again and again. All right."
And if something happens, like violence-wise, in the circle...
Oh, don't worry, sweetie. This is where I work my magic. Remember, not only the god of fair play, but parlay. And everyone's got a chance to talk. And no one can hit nobody. So he actually grabs, like, a wooden stool from behind one of the raised platforms and walks it and sets it in the center. And he jumps up and he sits on it and he blinks, and his eyes change to where the pupils are white and the irises are black. And the of one eye, and the other eye is the reverse of that color scheme, where the stuff around his pupil, or the stuff around his iris, is black, the iris is white, and the pupil is black. And he says, "All right, everybody, it's been not long enough, but I'm trying my best." And the 2 hecklers go, "That's what we were saying. We don't want to see y'all any more than we already do. Wish I was blinded." Oh! And they clink glasses. at the center, or not the center, yes, in the center of one of the platforms, with a stenographer's kind of desk, but it's not a stenography machine. It's a golden notebook, just like blazing through it so incredibly quickly. Is a young woman with brown hair, and she is wearing a dress that is made of literal starlight. It is not. The fabric is amazing, but it is not like done up like Vera's. It is not, I would equate it to just like a regular sundress if it weren't for the fact that it was ungodly magical. And she is burning through absolutely everything people are saying and noting it. And she says, "So should I put that down under annoyance or unrequired heckling?" And the two say, "I'll tell you what's unrequired. You." Oh! And R goes, "I will actively make you two shut up for all time. I will do it. Please. Please." And the monk kind of nods slowly in reverence of shutting the hell up. And the two hecklers kind of get back, like settle down in their seats. And R says, "All right. I would like to ask who proceeded to call the calling. I now instate myself as arbiter of this calling. We, as representatives of the gods of Bilanxia, understand their powers and strengths, and also their needs. And we are willing to give. We are willing to receive. And as they are willing to give and receive, we shall be willing to give and receive information and kindness and a general sense of parley." And he raises his hand and snaps. And the space he is sitting at, a white and black energy expands on the floor, reverberating in that same way he was casting magic, where it was white and black, white and black, white and black. It is radiating out like one of those circular spinning eye tests, and it spins and spins and spins and engulfs the area, and there is a force field suddenly erected. Cauldron, I'll need, if you want to know what's going on, like magic wise, I'll need Arcana. If you just kind of don't care, then we can move on.
Cauldron is paranoid that this will cause him harm and got a 26.
Oh,
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
So now I'm going to need a religion check at advantage to fully understand this one.
Rip.
Double threes, so that's an 8.
It's very magic, big
Was that
power.
an advantage? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, double threes, yeah.
Double magic, big power. You know it is something akin to Zone of Truth, which is a big cleric spell. But oh boy, Zone of Truth ain't ever been like that weird or colorful or like that powerful. You don't know what this spell is. It just really resembles Zone of Truth. And you notice that all of the clerics seem to be... Zone of Truth does not have a physiological component, but all of the clerics seem to be like noticeably moving less. Either they are paying attention or they are being restrained in some way. You can't tell. Or they are being restrained in some way because of the 23. But you don't know what this is or how this magic operates. You just know it big magic, and it is doing really cool stuff. And R says, "Rise, he who called us, or she, or they. You know, we really need to change these old rites." And a Warforged stands up, seated next to the woman who is taking notes. Or no, not next to, across from the woman who is taking notes. And he pulls out a pamphlet, and I need y'all to roll perception.
to see if we can read the letters on the pamphlet.
Yes.
Well, I got a 5.
Nope.
17.
Mhm.
Oh, legalized halfling, they call
And
me.
that's a 4. Okay, for Cauldron. You see that it says narratology.
Oh! Oh my.
And this Warforged says, oh wait, I have a voice mod for this. Hold on. Where did I put the voice over?
You all ever heard of narratology? Sounds like a nonsense word to me.
There we are. I am Atom, the original Warforged. And I have seen a problem. Now,
And this is when he flips off his or flips open his notebook and says,
that which we call narratology, that which we call gods, really began at a very early space in the study of narration, as gods were traditionally the focal points of...
and you hear the hecklers going, "Oh, wish they were the focal points of your speech!" And our like pinches or like rubs his temples and says, "As I do not like Stanley or Waldo, I will tell them to shut up. But I do need you to get to the point, Atom, because if this becomes another lecture on how we portray gods in fiction, I am going to take your dissertation and have Marigold burn it." And the woman taking notes says, I'm just going to put in that I said no. Right. He goes on.
My apologies. We all know of the great prophecy.
And the all of the people kind of move and tense as Matt tries to find the prophecy. They move and tense. I'm gonna need a history check for those of you who will know of the great prophecy. Zerlock, you can take this bad boy at a little advantage.
Does a little advantage still mean that I roll twice?
Yes.
Okay.
Would I have any advantage, being that I lived... What would the God of Secrets know about
21.
a great prophecy? Oh, well, never mind. We don't need it.
You know that this famous prophecy, Zerlock, was found in the right after the Great Forgetting. There's a tale of a seamstress who, through her loom, was able to create things that became true, not in the sense of a creation magic, but could see the future. And her last great prophecy drove her mad, and it was lost until her daughter managed to resurrect the knowledge. And the great prophecy, as Atom intones, is: through storms and divine winds sings a song of blood and missing thread. Though the battle won, the winds of creation and death awakens.
Could you say that one more time so I can write it down?
I'm gonna post it in the Discord, but also yes.
Way faster. Yeah. Posting in Discord way faster.
Yes. For all of our boys. Through storms and divine winds sings a song of blood and missing thread. Though the battle won, the winds of creation and death awaken. And everyone kind of shifts uncomfortably at the mention of the prophecy, and Atom says,
And as we know, the prophecy is one of great debate and doom. I believe it centers around a man attempting to attain divinity. And I believe I know that man. And everyone like gasps. And then, except for the guy with his mouth sewn shut, he just goes, he just like immediately sits up and kind of, the R kind of looks at Adam and he says, all right, go on. And Atom says, I believe it is possible to obtain divinity, and a man is attempting to do so. Though the rest of the prophecy I cannot really comprehend.
and everyone like turns to each other, and there's a solid second, and then they all just start laughing at him. Just totally laughing at him, and he's kind of looking at everyone, confused, and R says, all right, everybody, shut up, and they immediately quiet. And he's like, okay, Atom, do you have any proof that anyone can obtain divinity by what measure? And Atom says,
well, I haven't worked out how that would happen.
all right, okay. So you have proof that it does, though?
Not exactly.
All right, okay. My friend, are you telling me that you did a literary analysis on a prophecy and are telling us that it's going to come true based upon your literary analysis?
Well, that's not, I would say.
And then the two hecklers come in with, oh, looks like the robot needs a reboot. He's lost his mind. Ooh, if you reboot him, though, he'll lose his 1 kilobyte of intelligence. Woo! And the unfortunately at that one, everyone laughs again. And Atom is like sinking into the floor.
This poor boy.
And you hear. And so that's how it was that my only cleric was disgraced. But you see, he was actually right. And the adventurers knew in their hearts that he was right. And they would help him. And suddenly,
what the fuck?
And yeah, as you kind of say that, Atom looks around like panically, and he locks eyes with all three of you.
No.
And he mouths the word, "Did you hear Leon?"
Who?
Can I dive under the table?
I'm gonna just take my hat and duck away.
Adam. Zerlock is gonna look him straight in the eye, and for once, she's just gonna be like, she's gonna nod yes.
No. Why would you do that?
So R says, all right. Okay. All right. So we're going to call this one. The calling is over unless somebody has something, any substantial information regarding this. And he looks around, and pretty much everyone shaking their head. Nobody. He says, all right, parlay is over. Let's get the hell out of here. And he claps, and the energy, the spiraling vortex of black and white swoops back in on him, and he blinks, and his eyes are normal again. And the heads of all the religions kind of stand up. Finster, are you going to hide from this monk? Who you, by the way, you know who this monk is.
I'm well aware.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the same thing I did with Adam when he tried to look at me. I'm gonna put my hat down and try and kind of turn my back.
Stealth.
Okay, that's one I'm actually decent at.
I hope so.
Well, fingers crossed. 12, but I have luck. So I'm going to spend a luck and roll an additional D20.
You have to take this one though, so
No, actually, that's the fun thing.
no.
I
Luck
I
is you
can
have to take
continue
it.
to spend all of my luck dice but I have to. It's before I know the outcome.
Yep.
So
Okay.
that one I'll take though. 24.
Yeah, he doesn't notice you, even though you are his goddamn son.
Yes.
You needed that high of a roll.
Because he's also a monk.
Yeah, he's also a monk, and he's
Yeah.
like trained in secrets.
Yeah.
But you tap into your monastery training, and you're like, oh no, absolutely not.
I put on a fake mustache. It's what we were trained to do.
God, immediate.
Oh
And-
no, my name isn't Finister. It's Feigenbergen.
Well, your name isn't Finister anyway; it's just Finster. But we can
Exactly.
move on. So everyone kind of starts filing out of the room, and R looks up at all of you and says, "Well, that could have gone. That was completely useless. I don't know what that's about." And from behind you, you hear,
Excuse me, could I talk to your bodyguards?
and R turns around, looks up at Atom, who is like 6'5", 6'7".
I am almost at Adam's height. We can almost look each other in the eye.
This is true. And he goes, and R goes, "Why?" And Atom just says,
They seem like very nice individuals.
Mm-mm.
"Okay, so you're very bad at lying.
I'm aware.
Cool. But I can sense that there might be a secret here that my friend Finster wants to know."
For once, actually, that's a great assumption. That's okay. Some secrets
Coming
that's
from
like
me,
quiet.
don't be a coward.
That's the best thing to do, though. You learn
Is
more
it?
secrets that way.
I don't know about you, but I would prefer to know what the fuck is going on.
I feel like I should go, namely because I don't really care anymore. I'll see you. I'm actually gonna go talk to some people, and I'll circle back around here in a little bit. Call me if you need me. Preferably don't need me. And he walks off.
And as he walks away, I just go, try not to just rob the whole town blind, okay? Just leave them something.
He pokes his head back in and he goes, "Every time I do, the cleric of Tylaya comes in, and then it's just a stalemate. Trust me, I've tried." And he
Would I know what the Tylai is? I don't know that.
Tylire, the god of cheats and liars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Why would it? Anyway, moving on.
The god of cheating and liars, the opposite of the god of truth and fairness. Gee, wonder why.
No, I was saying, why does the name of? Oh, so he knows the true name of the cleric of Tyre. Okay.
Tylire, yeah. No one. You guys didn't interact with that person at all. You can later, but you don't know anything about that religious order, I don't think.
That's probably for the best.
Because cheats and liars doesn't talk to secrets very often because of being cheated out of the said secrets. They don't.
Well, we'd get along though. I think we'd have a great time.
I feel like it. So Atom turns to all of you and he says,
So you're the adventurers I've been hearing about for the past couple days.
For the most, but who are you? I know you said your name is Adam, but
Oh, I am Atom, the cleric, the one cleric of Leon, the god of the fourth wall and chaos.
What exactly is the fourth wall there?
So, if I tell you that, I have to indoctrinate you into my order. It is the great secret.
Oof, that's a tough one. I'm already in an order. I'm actually the order.
So,
So it'd be awkward.
Zin, is at least in passing, like,
Not there.
no. Let me finish the sentence. She, like, so every god has a pairing. Would she know a little bit about Leon just by knowing a lot more about Zin? Not a lot, but a little bit.
Who are you talking about?
About Leon?
So Zerlock is who
Yes.
you're asking about? Okay, you
Yeah.
didn't start the sentence with Zerlock. You just started talking about Zin.
Sorry.
So I didn't know who you were referencing or what you needed from them. So I think this would be a good time to talk about it. Zerlock is religious in that she worships Zin, the goddess of destiny and fate. It's the same thing, destiny or fate, interchangeable, depending upon how cool you want to say it.
Yeah.
Right. And you are saying that by knowing a lot about Zin, you must know about her counter pairing, which is Leon, god of chaos.
Yes, not a lot, obviously. Just, like, something.
That's a religion check, buddy.
All right. I'm okay
I'll give
with
you
this.
advantage, though. Fair argument for advantage.
What is religion? All right, I need you to not suck.
Would I know,
That's a
having
9.
given my religious background?
15.
That's a 15.
That's pretty good.
You could roll religion as well, and I will also give you advantage.
Oh, perfect.
Well, actually, I don't think you get advantage because you don't have you got a 22. You don't need advantage.
I was about to say I don't need it.
So what do you want to know? I guess.
How much do I know of Leon and
You
his
know
religion?
that Leon only has one cleric, and it is apparently this Warforged you have met. It is also true that Atom is one of the oldest clerics, having been one of the first clerics to have been found during the Forgetting, or after the Forgetting. Leon is the god of chaos, opposed to the god of destiny. It is said that the destiny of mortals is set throughout time until Leon decides to change it up. And that the mortals he chooses tend to be different than all of the other mortals in the world. He calls his clerics the NPCs.
Non-playable characters.
That is not what he said. No, it's just NPC. No one knows what it stands for. Weird, huh?
Okay. Fair enough. And what does Zin know? You might know something different from me.
Zerlock knows quite a bit. She doesn't know about the history of Atom like you do, because 22 he's kind of synonymous. Zerlock knows, however, that Zin and Leon are not. They are opposites, but they are not angry at each other. They do not hate each other like supposedly the gods of the Feywild and the Shadowfell would.
Secrets.
Yeah. But or they are kindly and get along the same way as Stanley and Waldo, the two hecklers who are from the gods of chance and strategy.
So, Zerlock is mostly, like, I assume we're going to figure out some amount from Leon, or Atom, damn it. But she's kind of trying...
It's also Atom, Atom.
Yes. So she's kind of going like, okay, so we're not crazy. Great. The cleric of Leon is talking... Yeah, I don't know what I wanted out of that, actually. I was just curious.
Yeah. Do we want to keep talking to him now?
Yeah, absolutely.
He says...
But regardless of my god's nature, it is very clear that he has chosen you three to help me stop Typhon de Leon.
Stop who?
Sorry, one more time.
Typhon de Leon. He's a bard. He's trying to obtain godhood. And if he does, he'll send the entire pantheon out of balance, and Valencia will see a celestial war the likes of which it has never known.
Right.
So, I have a question. It will send the balance, obviously, but, and you have to tell me if this is metagaming, but if you just found another person to ascend, wouldn't that not throw it out of balance?
That would be exceptionally difficult. I would rather actually not elevate two people. That would probably end really poorly. Also, I don't know if I would elevate them and they would be parable, as in they would be equal. They might be two wildly different domains. There's no telling what could happen. It would be a bit like setting off a cannon in a glass shop. But if you set off two cannons, you hope the cannonballs collide and stop from destroying any of the glass. But what's more than likely to happen is the cannonballs to ricochet and destroy even more glass.
So what you're saying is this is our call to adventure. This is Cauldron trying to piece things together.
You see Atom like he smiles and he says,
yes, I think that would be exactly what is happening. Now, of course, the debate section would come next. And this is the best part. I think it's because you need to come with me and not go with R.
No, I think we should probably stick with R, given that he's paying us, and money is good. It helps me buy secrets. I've bought a lot of secrets off a lot of prostitutes.
I like
they have
reading.
a lot of those. But I don't. No money, no secrets.
Who says we wouldn't find secrets there?
And also, if there's no world, there's no more secrets.
That's a pretty big secret, though. No world.
Also, what's the biggest secret other than the path to godhood? I mean, I'm not trying to go for or against. I'm just,
It is perhaps best that we discuss maybe with R and see what he needs to do. He is, of course, the most respected of all the clerics.
I would also like to not abandon him to be unable to get back to his wife. That seems kind of cruel.
Atom nods.
Indeed, quite the dick move. There's a soup.
My soup has come to love me. And he is super cute. Soup, it's 3 p.m., bud. You don't get fed for another 2 hours. Chill out. So yeah, do you want to go and find R and discuss this with him? Do you want to go hit up the libraries, the art galleries? What do you wish to do?
Let's take a break.
Oh, that's also a good one.
All right, we'll be back.
Cool.
It's a big shame you all died. I can't believe it. Every time we come back from break, you're dead. I don't know what you do.
Luckily, we paid you $5 to revive us, so
it's true. Yeah, and now I can afford a pizza. So as you're chilling out, Max, and relaxing, all cool, you just finished talking to Adam, who has said, "Well, let's go talk to R about this whole thing." What's the strategery, me amigos?
Well, you've already suggested that we can't murder him for.
We definitely should not.
I'm out of ideas.
It'll be a lot harder than you think.
Oh no. Cauldron votes for talking to R and then going and researching things in the library.
Fair enough. What are you trying to find in that library?
So Cauldron has not heard of the Fourth Wall, and so wants to find any information in the largest religious library in Sorkle.
Yeah, you're gonna. Okay. So you guys walk up to R, and he's talking to a very well dressed, not like the other clerics who are wearing like regal robes of the papacy. They're like, he's just wearing a suit, but it's a very nice, very well tailored black suit. He's got gray hair and dark eyes, and you see he's playing with something in his hands. And R and him are laughing. And as you walk up, you hear R say, "And that's when I told." Oh, hold on. And he turns around and he sees all of you. "Hey, kids! I said I'd find you later. This is not later. I am not looking for you. I understand that might be confusing, since a few minutes have passed, but not.
But are we looking for you?
Also,
you
you're
didn't-
not children. I'm fairly certain I might be older than you.
I'm a dwarf. I'm 210.
Hmm.
I'm very old. I'm the ripe age of how old fuck am I? Oh, I'm old. I'm like 13.
The tree won't let me access my birth certificate, so I don't know.
Man, that tree is wild. Anyway, what do you need, kids?
Well, first off, do you need escort back to Dank when we're through
Oh,
here?
actually, not even close. This is my friend, the cleric of Tylea. And the cleric nods to you and says, "Yes, hello."
Nice to meet you.
He just happened to have a way of procuring me a ticket on the next airship out with him.
All right, well that solves that problem.
This
We
seems
We
too
do need to find
convenient.
Tiffany and tell her she can go home, though.
That
That's
seems like a
fine.
you problem.
Yeah, that was definitely your choice.
They make arguments, and the
That doesn't make things very fair if we were to do it now, would it?
It's true.
the guy in the suit starts laughing. just a slight little chuckle, just and R glares up at him, and they both kind of smile.
What was your name again, by the way, Mr. Cleric, sir?
Oh, I don't tell people my name.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
There is an old legend that the great god Tylea, who can never lose, was once indebted to an ancient group, and became indebted because they knew his name. And T, he looks down at R, and R smiles. Made him sign with his actual name, and thus no cleric of Tylea has a name anymore.
Oh, that's weird. You're a weirdo, aren't you? You're just one strange bag of bones. Fair enough.
Aren't old
I'm not-
religions kind of weird?
I'm not a talking skeleton, is all I have to say about the matter.
Exactly.
Aren't we all really just talking skeletons?
With a meat suit.
And R looks over at the actual talking skeleton in the corner and says, "I don't." We're gonna ignore that anyway. Yeah, I don't need your help getting back. Why? You gonna help Atom with his prophets? And he's trying not to let he reels it in. Prophecy problems.
Maybe.
Well, Zerlock here thinks it's a good idea, so in the interest of not splitting the group, we probably are going to do that.
Also, she's our caravan now.
It helps.
That's true. That's true. My legs are too tiny to walk great distances. I get tired. I get leg cramps. I think I got an Achilles heel once. I don't know what that is, but
Yeah, plus if I abandoned them in the forest, I don't think they'd be able to find their way back.
oh,
That was
absolutely.
raised in the forest.
Atom bows very heavy and says,
Thank you, R, for your assistance in enabling me to take your bodyguards with me.
"Yeah, no problem, dude. Listen though, don't make them do anything too dangerous. They're pretty good at killing kobolds, though. Very good at it."
We're quite the little murderous bastards.
Someone is flicking something metal, and it is very loud.
Yeah, I
Okay.
heard it too, but it stopped.
Anyway, yeah, that's kind of that conversation. The cleric of Tylea hands R a ticket to an airship. R pockets it, and he says, "Well, kids, it's been nice knowing you. You ever need a drink? Come to my bar. You'll get
Water.
10% off,
We'll get
how-
water.
or water. The water is also good. You will have to pay for that eventually, though. Anyway, what's up?"
Generous, I guess. How generous? Yeah, that's accurate.
Make sure
He
to give us a 5-star review on the adventurer board.
That's true, and on Yelp. Which is to say, just start yelling that we're good at our jobs.
I fucking knew it was gonna. Knew you were gonna do that.
Because we're the Shining Star Adventurers, so of course.
Yeah,
there's gonna
no,
be five
it
stars.
makes the perfect sense that they would have a star rating system.
It's true. True. 17 out of 5 stars. It's a very confusing system.
I got a bad
Actually,
news
5
for
is
ya.
not the highest. 5 is actually a mid-grade tier. It's up to 15 because they're just weird enough.
R kind of rolls his eyes and says, "I will, in fact, be putting what you actually are worth, which is 4.5."
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, nice.
Well, thank you. He sort of
Thought you
waves.
hated us.
I got used to you. And you didn't die, so I didn't even need to remember your tombstones.
It's true. You're
Hey.
not my least favorite cleric anymore.
Oh, I must know who the least favorite is now.
I can't say. It's a secret. Wait.
He rolls his eyes so big.
In the interest of sharing secrets, it's my father, who's a dick.
Oh, there's a big like that noise, and the cleric of Tylyre just kind of, his eyes grow wide, and he goes, "Oh, I am definitely not dealing with Orville's child, just ever. Also, your dad is a monk who had his mouth sewn shut,
Yes.
and his name is still Orville.
Indeed.
He didn't change it."
Well, it doesn't matter. No, everyone just calls him Orv or Orvy. My mother calls him an asshole, but that's beside
Nobody
the point.
calls him anything. All of the
Well, I
clerics
used to
of
call
that.
him it a lot. He didn't like that very much.
Y'all, you're supposed to have your mouth sewn shut when you reach
Well, look,
maturity,
no.
right?
So that's a certain interpretation of certain text I consider non-canonical. Now, if you go back to the original text that I translated through several languages,
Now, unfortunately,
can
you are
get-
talking to a cleric, so as much as the rest of us don't want to hear this, the actual cleric is interested. The R is not. R is just like, oh god. Atom is actually like taking out his notebook, and he's like, interesting. And would you be happy to use the Hayitic or the Kamanic translations?
well, you see, if you actually do a circular translation through several, you can get an interpretation where sewn shut means out loud, speaking as if you were talking to a donkey. But only through goblin, mountain troll, and then demonic, and only if you do it a little poorly.
The god of the cleric of the god of cheats and liars. Big respect on that one. He does a big deep nod. Atom shuts his book without finishing writing down what you were saying, and says,
Oh, interesting.
But it is a correct translation because, and then I'm just going to go into a long diatribe. And
yeah.
Zerlock very slowly just starts to put her hand over your mouth. But slow enough that you don't even notice it until it's there.
And then I'm just going to hand him my pamphlet.
You're kind of used to it.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just going to hand him my pamphlet. Both of them my pamphlet, which is a very, very detailed synopsis of my cult, of my sect.
So let's do the stuff people want to do in Santus Civatis before we head to the to meet to the cult of Typhon de Leon. So I'm going to have some fun. Zerlock, you're going to the art gallery, right?
I can. I also understand if that is like a hard thing to role play specifically.
No,
it is
no,
an
it's
art gallery.
Absolutely not. It is absolutely not hard. Roll for me. Roll insight. Sam, you're going to be rolling investigation for your library work. Is there anything you want to do, Finster, while we're here?
I'm just gonna kind of do the same thing I did when we entered. It's just kind of going around eavesdropping, see if I can't find anything out, and generally try and avoid my father. That's
roll
adorable.
perception and stealth.
God, fuck all the
Um,
pain.
Zerlock, you got a 7.
Yep.
These are some damn pretty paintings.
Woo.
Oh boy. But you are unable to really process them and get perhaps some bardic inspiration.
I thought you know that I rolled a 1, but thanks because I'm lucky, I rolled a 20 for perception and a 13 for stealth.
Oh. Okay.
But do Zerlock first.
Yes. Zerlock, as you are kind of seated, it is difficult for you to pay attention. Because a beautiful woman in a kind of skimpy red dress is admiring a picture next to the one you are witnessing. This is a mural of Hea, the goddess of paths, basically protecting a path from monsters summoned by LLiN, the god of monsters. And you are just thoroughly distracted by her.
Zerlock kind of like takes a deep breath because she's really pretty, but she really wants to talk to her because, like, oh my god, pretty girl who also likes art. Wow. And
What are the odds?
Yeah. And she kind of looks at it is gay panic entirely, and she just kind of goes looking at the painting and looks back at her and goes, "Hello. So, is this your favorite painting here?"
She looks at you and smiles and says, "Why, yes, it is, I'm a big fan of Hea." She smiles.
Do I know anything about Hea? And by do I know, I mean I, Avalon, don't know a lot about Hea.
Goddess of Paths is all you're gonna get from just not rolling anything or just being like, "Yep, that's the Goddess of Paths." Hea is often attributed as kind of dual-faced personality. As in this picture you are seeing right now, there's one of her in a beautiful red dress and one of her in a white dress, and they seem to be, though working together, two separate entities.
Okay. Can I investigate whether or not this woman is like a follower of Hea? I assume so.
Oh, well,
'cause
you
she's
saw
a red
her
dress.
in the meeting. She is one of the head religious people.
Ooh, that makes this even more fun for me. The very anxious human. Vampire. What was the last thing she said? Something about Hea, and I got.
She just said Hea is her favorite and smiled because she's the head cleric of Hea, so clearly Hea is her favorite. It's kind of a joke.
Yeah. I don't know much about Hea, but I from what I do know, she's a great goddess.
Excellent. A+ god. The woman smiles and nods to you and says, "Well, thank you. I hope to see you around." And she kind of walks away. And you do enjoy seeing her walk away.
And I'll go back to doing what I'm actually doing, which is drawing a skeleton man in a cloak.
Okay.
Very badly.
It's a skeleton man?
Well, it's a skeleton. It's a skeleton. You can't really tell because
Rude.
it's a skeleton.
Skeletons are the most agendered creatures on Earth.
Well, Clarity is actually a female, so...
Okay,
Yeah,
then
you
I'm
can tell
drawing
just
a
by
lady
the
skeleton.
Bone structure. So
Thank
there
you,
is
Sam.
a whole study about bones that can tell you if they are.
Oh, like
Male, female,
phrenology,
and what
you know, the study of the skull and the bumps and all that. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that
I
one.
actually subscribe to that theory.
Sam,
No,
what is
pelvic
that
structure.
investigation looking like?
Cool. I got a 20 on my investigation in the library.
Okay, I will give you a thing. And I will give you, so you're looking for information about Leon, right?
Yes, specifically, because if there's a voice in your head and you don't know about it, you should research it.
You have an
That's your
interesting
pun.
interaction. You are researching and you find exactly jack shit. you
which by
you're-
itself means something.
Yes. You find that Leon is only ever talked about in reference to changing fate and like that's the chaos, but he prescribes himself as the god of the fourth wall. And you know from just general maps that there are 4 mountain ranges in Valencia, and they are each called a wall. And so for him to be the god of the fourth wall would mean that while every other god is a god of an abstract concept like ambition, contentment, or destiny, he is a god of a mountain range, but he is also known as a primordial deity. Like he is one of the 2 that after the forgetting helped everyone become again. So this imbalance of power indicates to you through your very special investigation that there are some things that are getting missed, that there's some interpretation about Leon that that you as Bilanxians aren't getting right. There's something different, and you realize that maybe it has to do with this narratology stuff. So you go over to the narratology section and you rent out Narratology 101, a very basic kind of book, and actually seated at the kind of juncture of narratology and religious studies is Marigold, the woman who is taking notes at the meeting, and seated across from her is the Eladrin that you saw earlier, Amantha Summerwings.
Cool. I'm just gonna say one thing. I'm gonna take what you've said and put it into a context of Cauldron, and let me know if I've misinterpreted anything.
No, go for it.
So, being from the tree and coming into a wealth of information, Cauldron understands that there's certain information that, by knowing it, is hazardous. Can he reasonably equate knowing what Leon is or divines over can be hazardous?
Yes, especially since Leon has said multiple times these dudes are dying. I think Cauldron has put 2 and 2 together of, oh, this guy can really mess you up. He is much more powerful than I anticipated.
However,
Oh.
he's also the god of changing fate. So if our fate is to die, maybe we can change that.
And that is also
Ooh.
another consideration, because also now that you know he's real and that he's telling your story, is it possible to change it?
Or is he lying like a bastard? I
Ooh.
heard that.
Leon?
I hear you, you cock.
Yeah.
I'll put you to death.
Is there at least a depiction of Leon, his sort of divine form?
His likeness.
No.
Okay. Cool.
There is no reference. He seems to dwell in the same place as Zin in the cosmos. A bookshop that materializes in and out of the celestial material plane.
Oh. Joy.
But there is no depiction of what he looks like.
In the list of all the gods, he's just not there. There's a small cat there next to something, but that cat,
Right.
The
There's a
artist
cat in
broke
this
cats.
image. There's a cat in this image, but we don't know where Leon. He's not in it. We don't understand.
It just doesn't make sense.
See, Leon's so chaotic, he just can't be captured in image
Yeah,
form.
exactly.
Yeah, something like that.
Even though in every picture of Zin, there's a cat in her lap, which is weird.
she just loves cats. She's actually the god of cats.
Yeah.
She
can't have 3 divinities, so she had to drop the cat.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Um,
The
But
artist
everybody
loves the
knows
image.
that secretly she is the goddess of cats.
Well, that would be a big insult to the actual cat, but we're not getting into that today. So, also, if there are any more chaotic entities than house cats, I can't think of any.
Me?
Me? Human? Anyway, so yeah, these 2 individuals are sitting there kind of looking over their paperwork, finishing up, Marigold kind of finishing up her documentation because it was a 5-minute meeting, but she had to document, as you kind of see that she has documented each individual person, their name, and then laughter. every time anyone bursts out into laughter. So this small meeting is taking her so much longer because she has to write out every name. Laughter.
Oof. Poor
Could
girl.
I recognize someone of a wizard school of scribes?
She is something. You don't know a lot about the divinity of Zin's clerics.
Okay.
All of the clerics have obviously cleric powers because that's how D&D works. But the clerics that you have met today are so powerful that they might be embodying their gods' essences differently than just like good god worship. You know what I mean? Like they might be getting different kinds of abilities because of their
Being
they're
the
so high on the
closest. Yeah.
yeah, they're so high on the food chain that they're a little bit like their god in a way.
Cool. Yeah. Seeing a chance to talk to the scribe of the only thing closest to the gods, uh, Cauldron's gonna come up and say, howdy ho there, friends.
So Marigold is just buried in her, not registering you. But Amantha looks up at you and says, "Well, hello there, young gnome." And she smiles and pats your head.
Not understanding a head pat, he's just going to be like, huh? But going to continue on with his objective, which is, you seem like you need a little bit of, help with this paperwork. Might I offer my services?
Marigold finally looks up and says, "Oh my God, when did you get here?"
I was always here. I am the gnome of the library.
She looks down and turns to a new page and picks up her quill, and Amantha goes, "No, sweetie, darling, he's kidding. He's kidding. It's a joke." And she goes,
Can I use Mage Hand to write, gnome of the library appears in her page?
In blood on the wall.
Yeah, roll for that. That's
think
going to be a
that'd be
sleight of hand as
yeah.
much as I've ever seen it.
So fun fact, I found a bunch of hotkeys for D&D Beyond, and it's beautiful.
Does a 13 somewhat do this?
Absolutely not. You immediately you like try to write. I think you either attempt to grab. Do you attempt to grab Marigold's quill?
I think it's very apparent that a little bit of mystical hand comes out and goes
Well, it has
for
to be. It's not
quill.
invisible.
Yeah. Goes for the quill and tries to start writing.
Yeah. You do that, and Marigold just smacks like with that, just like razor reaction, bam, and it just your mage hand goes, and she goes, "I only have one of these," and she points down to this large book with these gilded gold pages, and she goes, "If Zin gave me this, if I lose this, or if someone else writes in it, you're not going to have a very good time."
Oh dear.
And Amantha has her hands over her like face, right in front of her mouth.
Totally into you, bro. Go for it.
And Amantha is over here like, noticing that Marigold is a little tense because you tried to touch her most prized possession. Amantha says, "Right, but is there any? You were with R, right?" She is asking you, Cauldron.
Yes. We were escorting him, and
That must have been very interesting. I don't know a lot about Sorkle. I'm from the Feywild, but as it is, you don't remember much when you get on the other side. So.
oh, interesting. Then how do you return, or even remember any?
Well, I actually don't. I am here permanently on the other side as a representative of the Fey Lady. Usually, Paladin Boone comes in these events, given a special ward against his memory loss every 10 years. But unfortunately, it takes 10 years, so he wasn't able to come today.
Oh, well, at least it was a quick meeting.
Marigold says, "Yes, and everyone was quite rude to Atom." Amantha says, "He did say absolutely crazy shit." And Marigold kind of ruffles her eyebrows. She goes, "Are you going to help me with the names or not?" And Amantha raises her hands and says, "All right, all right. Thank you for talking to us, but we do need to get back to work."
Can I help?
Do you... Marigold says, "Are you a scribe?"
No, but I can write, and I've got 3 hands.
Sure. They're gonna ask you to document like comings and goings, especially the names of all the bodyguards who were there. Roll sleight of hand. See how fast you can do that.
Woo! That is a 20, even. Not a nat 20, but just a 20
but
even.
it's still fucking very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you write all this shit so fast they're done before they thought they were gonna be here for an hour or two. You're done. They're done in like 4 minutes, and they're like, "Marigold, oh, thank you so much. That was so helpful of you. I'm sorry I was so mean to you earlier. It's just, most prized.
Yeah, I shouldn't have overstepped my boundary.
And Amantha says, "Yeah, that's actually quite nice of you. Here," and she pulls a hairpin out, and it's got a fairy on it, and she says, and it's pure gold, and she says, "Please accept this gift as a token of the Fey Lady."
Oh, my goodness. Well, I have you in mind.
Marigold makes a face.
Is this an insight as in
Yeah.
how? Okay.
It's an insight on Marigold. See what kind of face.
20 even composite.
Yeah, it's not a face of, oh god, no, it's a face of, oh god, again. Like you are not special getting this hairpin. It seems that Amantha gives this shit out all the time.
Oh, okay. Cauldron still trying to be nice. He's like, "Oh my goodness, well, thank you very much. Who am I to refuse a gift from the Fey Lady?"
Mark down on your character sheet, gift of Fey Lady, please.
Okay. And then I do want to ask the scribe lady. Actually, I was in here looking for information on Leon. Because Atom is the cleric of Leon, and I just can't find much of anything. And I was wondering if you had any more information.
Marigold kind of looks at you for a while, sizing you up, and says, "Nope." Marigold usually talks a lot more, as you have seen. So a very quick nope is strange.
Oh, apologies if I've asked anything I really shouldn't have.
Nope, I just don't know anything. Not a clue. Never met him.
That's a insight check.
Yeah,
if I've
go for it.
seen one.
Yeah. Go for it.
That's a 16.
Oh my god, she's Leon.
You can know 2 things. She is in Sanctus Civatis, and you know that clerics have Zone of Truth on fucking lock. So it's safe to assume that she is not lying, but you're getting the impression she's choosing her words very carefully.
Wow. I guess that sort of surprises me, as Zin and Leon are always depicted friendly, if not in the same physical location.
Yep.
Forgive me.
She is stonewalling you so hard. It is very clear. Amantha kind of doesn't know what's really going on, but says, "How about Mr. I never actually got your name."
Oh, Cauldron Greenmeadow. He sort of gives a gnomish bow.
And she says, "Thank you, Mr. Greenmeadow. How about we all go to lunch and talk about something a bit more interesting? I know that Marigold here is very interested in all forms of spellbook, and as a wizard, maybe you have some interesting things that you would like to show her, some binding techniques for them."
It sounds good. We can exchange information.
And insurance.
and then
Very important.
And insurance, yeah. That is
Yes,
that is probably
insurance.
the end of that scene. I would
Yeah.
say that you guys probably do grab, some food, but you're not getting shit out of Marigold.
Yeah, it's stonewalled to death.
Yeah. You can talk to her about a lot of things. Actually, roll me just charisma, just straight charisma.
You guys gonna become besties? Oh my god.
I'm going to use one of my because I rolled really low. I'm going to use one of my traits to re-roll that.
Fair enough.
Uh,
You're gonna
use
use
a little.
You're gonna use
time.
chronology ability. Whoa,
Doesn't
two
matter.
Two
Doesn't
eights.
matter.
Amantha is very nice to you. As she seems to be to everyone. Like everyone, every time anyone talks to Amantha, she's very giving. She's very kind. She seems to be incredibly benevolent.
Maleficent, yeah.
Benevolent and generous. She tips really well. She gives people extra, servings.
ready with a
Marigold
smile.
is hungry at one point, or still hungry after her sandwich, and Amantha basically passes her entire tray to Marigold, even though she's not done eating either. So they are. She is quite kind. Marigold continues to stonewall you, and you don't really make a connection with either her nor Amantha.
You and I both did not knock it out of the park.
Unfortunate.
Oh no.
All right,
Lot of
Liam,
pressure,
we get
guys.
to do your thing now.
No, no.
So that stealth or that perception, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Turns out, guys, there's super advantage, by the way.
What is your perception was what?
My perception was 20.
You have disconnected. I can't see anything you have rolled.
Okay, well, my perception check. Let's see. Was my stealth was. No, hang on. Trying to find the exact one.
Yeah, you might have to re-roll it, bud. It doesn't look good.
That's unfortunate to say the least. Oh wait, hang on. My stealth was 13. I know that.
Okay. Well,
think.
yeah, I can see that one. I can't see any of your other rolls. I can see that
I
one
can't see
stealth.
perception for some reason.
Yeah, that's weird.
I guess it was a
That's
20.
10.
It's now a 10. So.
Okay. You don't hear much.
That's good.
You're kind of following around Vera and Amantha, who have since not spoken, not looked at each other, not said anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really get any more information from them. They seem to be pretty dodgy and, shockingly, unfortunately, keeping their secret well.
I know, it's the worst type of secret, the well-kept one.
Right. There is a moment as you are passing that you feel your father's eyes on you.
It's a feeling you've known for all your life.
Yeah, pretty much, because his father has never been able to say anything to him. You turn and you lock eyes with him. And he doesn't say a damn thing to you.
Well, he never has, so.
Yeah, that's true. He's never told you he loved you.
Oh, it's because he's never loved me. That's not because of the mouth sewn shut thing. It's because he's a dick.
Yeah, it's he locks eyes with you from across this luncheon area, and there's a few more monks with him. Your mother, Beatrice, and then unfortunately, it's much smaller, is your little brother, Hyler.
I didn't know I had a brother.
You did. Yeah, Hyler, your little brother, who is in his dark robes and who is younger than you, and says, his mouth starts open. He goes, "Hi, Fister!" And he kind of waddles over to you.
Have I seen him before? Or is this a relatively new
Addition to the family?
Yeah.
No, you've met Hyler before. He's your brother. Hyler was so you got kicked out,
long enough for me to become an alcoholic and then stop being an alcoholic. So
you can become an alcoholic very quickly if any of my college experiences to indicate that.
That's true. I started and stopped within a month, so there was that.
Whoa, that's a bad month, bud.
It was bad, but it was my first month in college. Well, it was in the first semester, but that's beside the point.
I thought you were talking about Finster, and I was like, that's a bad month for Finster. But now that I know it's real, it's even worse.
Let's go with 3 years. 3
Oh,
years.
you've only been out for 3 years? I was gonna say 5.
Oh, 5 works. 5 works.
5 years. I was thinking like 2 years or 3 years to really crap on yourself and be terrible, and
Sure.
you've been sober for 2 years, and that required getting a job, which was the Shining Stars.
Sure.
So Hyler runs up to you and he goes, "Brother, I didn't know you were gone. You've been gone for so long. Mom and Dad, well, they don't say anything about you," and he kind of elbows you as like a joke. So the big secret of the sewn mouths is that none of them know when they are going to have their mouths sewn shut.
Mm-hmm.
It is determined as in secret on the day of their birth, as it is a secret. So and it's also possible that you never get your mouth sewn shut.
Mm-hmm.
That is considered a bad thing, and you are shamed and shunned from it.
Wow, yeah. Who would have thought?
You refuse, right? You did not.
I was given the opportunity, and I passed.
Right. So that's a big shame on you and your family.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know when Hyler is going to have his mouth sewn shut, and Hyler does not know when it is happening either.
Hi, Hyler. How you doing there, little tyke? How's it been?
I'm doing pretty good. I haven't seen you in 5 years. Hyler's not like a child.
Yeah.
He's a halfling version of a teenager. I don't know what that means. But he's
a quarterling.
He's a quarterling. He goes, "Well, I've been trying my best. It's been real rough without you around, and well, Ma and Pa aren't really, well, they're not really helpful much. They don't ever talk about you, and the jokes aside, they don't ever tell me what happened. You had your ceremony, and I didn't see you after that, and well,
right. Well,
spoken, so I can assume it didn't go well.
It didn't go great. As you can tell, I'm still talking, and I'll continue to do that until the end of my days."
His eyes get big, and he goes, "Oh, brother, that's a strong way to go."
I am well aware of the philosophical implications, and if you give me just 10 minutes, I can explain to you why those assholes are wrong, and it's not just teen angst.
At the word of those assholes, you notice that they have suddenly gotten much closer out of nowhere, because they are
I'm
shadow
actually
monks.
pretty used to that.
Yeah. And they sign at you, "Leave our son alone, you blasphemer."
Ooh. Well, and
Hyler looks up at them and goes, "We should really have a family meeting at some point. This seems something's gone real wrong."
That's fine. It's fine, actually. If they want to be wrong all their lives, they can be wrong. That's okay. You know what? If you want to say anything against it, I do speak up. Just one word, anything. No? Well, I guess I'm still right then. I was pointing to them. Oh, that's a shame. It's really easy to win an argument when they can't speak.
They are signing furiously.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was distracted by a bird. I couldn't quite catch that. You're going to have to speak up there.
Oh, man. At some point, someone's throwing us under the bus for making fun of the deaf community.
No, mute. The mute community.
Right. Which is also not
but
better.
Purposefully mute community. It's not a disability. They've literally chosen to be mute.
That's fair. And so Hyler says, "All right, brother. I can see this is getting a little tense. Can I get your mailing address to give you some mail?"
Oh, yes. And I hand him, my forwarding address and all that.
Yeah. Your father snatches it out of his hand.
I will just write him another, and I will physically clap my hand as, the old-timey arm on the shoulder.
Let's roll a sleight of hand contest.
Okay, sure. Bitch, I eat people. Well, no, you eat people. I don't
Yeah.
eat people.
Zerlock just comes out of the gallery, sees all of this, and just is standing there going, I could eat a dream. I could go for a dream right now.
22.
Oh, I accidentally rolled Zerlock. My bad. Well, that's a 7. You got a 22. You. Hold on. 7 plus
Are you? Yes.
7. Oh, okay. You pass. Oh, yeah, you pass. I rolled very low, as you saw, but his modifier is much better than Zerlock's, surprising no one. But you still like get it, and then Hyler kind of snatches it, and he looks at your dad as your dad is like reaching for it, and he goes, "I can make my own decisions. I'm fully aware my brother's an idiot. I'm watching him be a stupid. But if I can't talk to him, I can't bring him back. So what's the use of it?" And your mother and your father kind of look at each other, look down at Hyler, who has said a very intelligent thing. And they all kind of leave. Hyler with a goodbye, the other two with not so much.
Hey, don't forget to write or say anything. Oh, God, that would be awkward. Shove it up your own arse, you bastards.
You didn't say goodbye. So, yeah, that is all of the fun and excitement of Sanctus Civatis. We do not have time to head on over to the cult of Typhon de Leon. But yeah, is there anything else that anyone wants to do in Sanctus Civatis? Or are we pretty much good to rock and roll? I'm very excited for y'all to meet the man who is trying to attain godhood and the center of the prophecy of Song and Storm.
Not Song and Ice, though, because we would get sued.
We would get sued, but the name of the arc is A Tale of Song and Storm.
Speaking of which, this is brought to you by...
No, we're done. By water. Free to most people. It's actually artificially cheap. Watch out
But
for your water
also
sources.
by,
And he muted himself right there. Thank you to Arcane Anthems for some kick butt, kick ass music for the day. Also, thank you to me. No, I was going to thank someone else. I couldn't remember who. I'll thank them.
Our sponsors.
Our sponsors. Thank you. Thank you to all of our sponsors.
Exist.
Shut up, Avalon. We're working on it. It's okay.
No, we have some big sponsors so if you want to sponsor us, get in quick. Otherwise, those other guys, and I can't say it yet because they're just so big, money out the wazoo.
They will sue us.
I bought a Lamborghini.
And now he's in massive debt. So we're gonna be back next week, same time, same channel, and we will be finally meeting Typhon de Leon.
And on Tuesday is my art stream. We'll be printing an intaglio plate with a spoon.
Spoons.
It's gonna be
Will
great.
we have them? Who knows?
Spoons.
All right.
The second best piece of silverware.
After sports.
First is chopsticks. Oh, damn it.
Thank you all for watching. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.